What, ladies and gentlemen, for fuck's sake. And I welcome all of you back to the final part of DSP Gaming's worst moments of 2022. Now, if you are interested as to why the big green screen is behind me, that's because I've got a lot of videos I have to make later tonight involving it, so I may as well, crack out the old green screen, the old green screen, and, yeah, I literally had no other jokes evolving this, so there's your answer. So, here's sort of what we're going to do. We're going to go over the last, 30 minutes of this, and then we're going to probably regret that we ever thought about this, because, my goodness, Phil has sort of outdone himself in terms of how awful he is this year. Bad, Phil. Bad. So, if you guys are ready, let's bring this motherfucker down a peg or two. So, let's finish this.
This is it. This is the #1 worst moment of 2022.
Here we go. Is that Keemstar? Yep. Ironic, he was talking about Keemstar last, but here we go.
Keemstar versus DSP
gosh,
Gaming.
Okay. How did this happen?
I'm your host, Killer Keemstar. Let's carry into the news. Into the news. Into the news. Our first story is coming from Jake Paul.
Deji has been caught botting.
Everybody is starting to hate Superwoman. I mean, hate her.
Drama Alert Nation now over 5 million subscribers.
And I told Ice Poseidon that you're scary and that you trained with Sam Hyde and that you can really fight and Ice should be worried.
I don't know. I know KSI is going to have a much tougher time than facing Swarms for sure. And you guys still stuck with me. So it's like, I'm just going to have to keep getting the scoop and keeping you in the loop.
Keemstar, and then let's see the pig roach himself. There he is.
I don't want to be rich. I don't want to be famous. I don't want to blow up in notoriety. I don't want to be involved.
You contradicted yourself immediately. Then why did you bother getting on the internet in the first place? Come on, Phil. That's the first thing he's lying about.
In drama and go viral. I don't care about any of that shit at all.
October 2021.
In 2016, when I had my infamous incident,
you mean the one
he did a
where you
news
jacked
story
off
on me.
Screen, Phil? Yeah, that one. If you don't know what that is, well, now you know. And knowing is half the battle. Bit like Phil, really.
The incident. It lasted all 5 seconds.
Yeah, well, you know what? It didn't take that long for the Titanic to hit that iceberg either. So there you are. 5 seconds, 1 second. Doesn't matter. That it happened.
Yeah, we ran that story on fucking Drama. That was fucking hilarious.
Phil didn't realize that his camera was on, and he
The old Trump that's polishing.
Fucking beat off right in front of your fans.
And then actually behind the scenes, one of his people, which I don't even understand because I don't think it was an employee. I guess he has people who just do shit for him for free.
No, he
figure that one
pays
out.
them.
Reached out to me behind the scenes and said, "Do you want to be on Drama Alert?"
Also, I can remember a time
where you were actually begging to come on my show.
That's interesting.
I don't think there's a story here. Like, it was something stupid that happened. I'm laughing at it
Look like you're laughing
and
at
rolling
it.
with it. There's no drama here. I'm sorry, I'm going to dispute that it happened. I see there's no topic here.
So yeah, I get it. I get why you hate me, because we covered that story.
Well, let's start a couple months ago. It was over the winter. You know, he started talking shit randomly about me on his show. Like, somebody brought me up in the chat, and I seen this clip where he was just saying that I was this horrible guy and I make all my money off of drama and da-da-da-da. He had this big rant on me.
Kevin has now done a super chat and says, what do I think about Keemstar's retirement? I don't. I never watched a single piece of Keemstar's content during the time period that he made it. I don't care about him. All I know is that he is one of the original people who basically was a rumor monger, drama monger, and or person who caused a lot of personal pain for people so that he could get a buck.
So I put out a series of Twitter videos explaining to him that he's a gamer, but he treats but he's a bad gamer at the game of life because he's still on level 1. He's still living, paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, it's again, I think they Keemstar kind of like put it really, really well because you have to remember is that Phil still does all this shit and he could have sorted himself. Rich from Review Tech USA said this 2 parts ago, is that literally Phil could have been a very different person if he literally shut the fuck up about his finances, quit blowing his money on a mobile game, and literally just relaxed a little bit more. If that's all Phil has to do, they're not very hard things, and it could have taken him to the next level, but he is only ever going to be stuck on level 1.
Me and you have been doing YouTube for about the same amount of time, or gaming,
True,
entertainment,
yeah.
whatever you want to say.
Because I think Keemstar was right about the same time as when Wings of Redemption and Dr. Disrespect were sort of like starting at the same time. The difference being is that Wings had his own personal problems, and Dr. Disrespect was so good that it was just enough to just see if he would ever lose whatsoever. That was one of the big things about the Doc, is that you couldn't beat him, and you couldn't beat him. But if you could, then you were part of the Champions Club.
And I'm retiring, all right? I'm retiring with fuck you money. Never have to fucking work again.
Just interesting. I don't necessarily think Keemstar is technically retired as far as what I understand it and the stuff he keeps putting out. But it is true. Keemstar, in many ways, does not necessarily need to work again. Or if he does need to work again, he can find ways of making basically enough in 3 years than I'll make in 10 years. And then he could also possibly call it a day from there, because Keemstar has put as much time into this. And again, the difference in just how successful both men are is only ever apparent whenever you really do sort of weigh in exactly how far ahead Keemstar is. And then DSP just casually asks Keem to be on Drama Alert. And then when you think about, again, all the views... It's a similar thing that when Phil went after PewDiePie in last year, but except it went absolutely nowhere because Felix is at the very, very top of the ladder. And Keemstar is only roughly about a couple of rungs behind, but... yeah, exactly. Just this.
You're still begging for $10 donations and $20 donations to pay your electric bill, to pay your fucking rent, all right? I get it. I'd hate me too.
So I said, you know what? Let me give DSP a life lesson.
You're still on mission 1, and you can't get anywhere, and you're rage quitting, and you're starting over and restarting and restarting. I mean, a decade ago, you were on stream begging for $20 and $10 donations so you could pay your rent. It's a decade later, you're begging for $10 and $20 to pay your rent. You're restarting mission 1. Now, I know it's an ongoing thing with people telling you to go get a real job, but you probably need to get a real fucking job.
I put out this really good, inspiring Twitter video. He
The
don't
only
like that.
reason
He
why
blocked me on
Phil
everything.
doesn't is because, again, think about it. Phil still makes way more money than probably he rightfully should, or maybe for the fact that, again, his status as someone so infamous is enough to like carry him through a lot of setbacks. But you also have to consider, again, in the same amount of time, Keemstar has at least 2 zeros on the end of his paycheck compared to Phil. That's the difference of just how these, yeah.
I don't give 2 fucks about Keemstar. I don't want to talk about him ever again. Seriously, the guy's a waste of time in life. So I'm not even going to address that. I'm just going to say thanks, Smokey, for the super chat. Moving on to more important things in life that aren't human
come on,
turds.
Phil. Dear Keemstar, the fact you responded to Punchdown on the internet, nobody proves what is said about you rings true and struck a nerve, or you would have ignored it. Your wealth has no impact on your well-founded insecurities. Do humanity a favor, stay gone. Are you sure about that? Like, Phil, are you even sure about this? Because that's just basically you closing another door. A door that you probably should keep open. How many more times, Phil, do you think you're just going to keep slamming the door on people whenever they respond to you with things that are factually true? And the fact that, again, Phil is still stuck on level 1. June 2022. So about 7 months later. 9 months.
Keemstar tweets about me, saying that there's a show coming up that involves me, Wings of Redemption, and Boogie.
Okay.
I had a concept that would make everybody happy, that everybody would want to see. His fans would want to see it. The people that hate him would want to see it.
And he says, oh, it's going to be a show with all 3 of them. It's going to be a podcast, and I'm producing it. He just says this publicly, okay? This guy literally never spoke to me. He just
but at
tweeted
the same time,
this.
Phil, you kind of wanted Keemstar gone, but...
You know, between the 3 of them, Boogie, Wings, and DSP, you know that podcast is going to be gold. Like, the things that are said, the stupid shit that comes out of these 3's mouths, like, these clips are going to go viral. Like, the amount of promotion, natural promotion that would come from the entire internet from a podcast like this would be absolutely unbelievable.
He has an absolute point about this, with the 3 of them have such a notoriety of infamy that it would be near impossible for anyone, even the most die-hard haters of all 3. Though I do think I'm not entirely sure again if it's fair to say which one of those 3 I dislike the most. DSP's pretty deplorable. Boogie is just kind of pathetic in how he wallows, and Wings is just sort of going through the motions most of the time without any semblance of like self-awareness. But Phil is just sort of pathetic in just about everything he tries, really. So maybe it is DSP I dislike the most.
DSP has no real world experience. Can you imagine him talking about politics or anything going on?
Well get Chris.
Then he starts tweeting,
Chris Chan
Darkseid
was still in prison. They probably might have asked him as well, or her. I'm sorry.
Phil has me blocked on Twitter, so I can't talk to him about it. Someone had to get him to unblock me on Twitter.
Then I noticed a couple months later he unblocked me, and me and Boogie were on the phone, and Boogie was, privately was like saying like, oh, these people they're always harassing me and they're bullying me. I go, you know what, Boogie, you got to turn those haters into money, man. You got to put content out there that's going to bait them into making fun of you and watching or whatever. Like, but he was down. He trusted me, and I said, it would be really good if you had a podcast with DSP and Wings. Like, imagine that. Like, that is going to break the fucking internet. That will be a big, big, big show. Everyone's going to talk about it. It's going to be wildly successful. Boogie immediately is like, Keem, I trust you. You've done this before. You've had podcasts making millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I'm down.
And I was very honest with Boogie and transparent. I said, listen, I have nothing against you. I have nothing against Wings. If you guys ever wanted to just sit down and shoot the shit and have a conversation or do a podcast or whatever, I'm sure we could talk about it and we figure it out. All right? But I'll be honest with you, I want nothing to do with Keemstar. I don't see why he has to be involved in this equation.
What the fuck? All of this. He's the one that's going to be putting all of this out. He's the one who came up with the idea at all. Phil, do you think if it was left to your devices, you would be the one to organize any of this? Would you even know how to get in touch with Geordie or get in touch with Boogie? That's the... You probably would have to... Come on, Phil. Are you really trying to... That's where this is going, isn't it? It's just going to be about Phil's fucking ego and the fact it's just because he can't bring himself to admit that Keemstar is pretty much in the right in terms of, from a more like a business standpoint, absolutely it makes sense for someone like Keemstar to organize stuff like this. Because Keemstar has had things with Geordie before. He knows what they're like.
Fuck does he have to do with anything?
Boogie runs off to talk to Wings, and my job, my task is to go talk to DSPs. Well, he has me on block, so it's easy. So I just tweet him and say, hey, open DMs with me or DM me, right?
He tweets out and he says, oh, I've noticed that Darkside Phil unblocked me on...
Make a point about this. If Keemstar, for any reason, contacted me out of the blue, you know what? Absolutely, I would take it on board, because again, it's a fascinating experience, and there's plenty to talk about, and I think it's just gonna be one of those things where okay. I'll go over this a little bit later because I kind of wanted to bring someone very specific into the equation, so bear with.
Twitter. He's saying this on Twitter. I've noticed that Darkside Phil has unblocked me on Twitter. Well, I have a business proposition for him. Someone get him to DM me on Twitter.
And I start getting him responding saying, well, why didn't you hit up my business email?
No.
Like, what? Well, he's going back and forth with me on Twitter, saying that I need to email him and all this other stuff. And so I got frustrated because at this point, we have now, publicly have been tweeting at each other at least 5 times back and forth, and he's still saying I have to email. I'm like, bro, we're communicating right now publicly. Why
You're
can't
really
I
trying
just
to tell me that the only reason why Phil? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, Phil. Phil, you know what? I have my business email up as well, but it's not 100% necessary. I won't just brush people off just because they tweet at me or they DM me or anything like that. Phil, come on now. Are you really this pathetic? Who am I to... No, you are pathetic, Phil. That's the most petty, petulant, pathetic... I should have been on this fucking podcast now, the more I think about it. I think I could have actually got on with Keemstar, Boogie, and Wings like a house on fire. Phil, you're throwing away a golden opportunity. This is okay. DSP, you are Charlie Bucket. You've just found the last golden ticket, and you throw that fucker in the trash. That's what you're doing, Phil. And I don't think Keemstar is going to run out saying I think you dropped this. I don't think Keemstar's going to do that, because this is... If Keemstar... if Phil ever did this to me, I would literally never talk to him again after this anyway. And just, he had his chance. I'm sorry, you know what? If it's really... Was it really that big a deal for you? But come on. The only way, I would ever get in touch with his business email is if it was unable to DM him anyway. But what can you do?
So finally I said, if you don't DM me, you're going to miss out on $50,000. I said this publicly to him.
That's just to appear on the show. Listen, moron, if you don't respond to my DMs in the next 60 minutes, you're not going to get this guaranteed 50,000 sign-on bonus. I'm not playing anymore. Yeah, Keemstar, he's not fucking around with this. He's just saying, there you are. Make do.
Whew, man. You know how it is. I'm sure you've all been there before. The bathroom. All right? We've all been there a few times in our lives. But I'm
Sure,
back
you just
now.
wanna play
I'm ready to
this,
chill with all of you.
Super
All right.
fun again. Okay, there we go.
Sure enough, he DMs me.
This guy starts harassing me on
Harass.
Twitter. He's sending multiple tweets out. Darkside Phil needs to contact me if I have a $50,000 signing bonus, and he'd be an idiot if he doesn't contact me. He keeps tweeting about it like 2-3 times. I guess he tweeted about it. And so finally people are contacting me on my stream that day. Are you aware that Keem wants to talk to you? Why don't you talk to Keem? All right, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I have no idea. Now I was like, okay, well, I don't know if I want to be involved. Can you give me details? Let's talk. No. I want to have a phone call with you to talk about it.
I go, hey, look, I want to get on the phone with you, and I have a business proposal. He goes, well, write it out in an email. He's saying this to the DMs. I'm like, I'm not fucking doing that. What is your number? He goes, my number has been leaked publicly. You can go ahead and give it a call.
Phil.
Now, immediately that hits a red flag for me. Why? Because this guy wants to do a phone call for a good reason. Because he doesn't want to have anything in writing, right? If someone wants to have a business dealing with you, they're going to do it in writing so that there's evidence of what they said and it can be referenced later. He wants to have a phone call with me so that we
Phil,
can talk
are you
and
really
he can say
trying
shit
to
that later.
suggest to us that Keemstar was trying to scam you? Is that what you're trying to go for here? Phil, are you really? What am I even looking at right now? This is ridiculous.
Later on, he can claim he never said.
No,
I'm not
you are,
stupid.
Phil.
Keep in mind, I am talking to him in the DMs. I've been talking to him publicly on Twitter. We're communicating at this time, and I just want to jump on the phone. He goes, well, you can call me between this time and that time. I'm like, this fucking asshole, bro. This control freak fucking weirdo. Fine.
Let's have the phone call, all right? So I basically talked to him, and I said, all right, here's the deal. I'm a busy streamer. I have double streams every day. On my day off, I'm not available because I spend it with my wife. So here's when I'm available. I'm available at this time and this time, this time and this. I gave him slots of time that he could call me to have this conversation. In fact, that first day, I sat around during my break ready to answer the phone if he called me because I was under the impression he wanted to talk right away and was going to call me. He did not call me.
I called him at his preferred time, and he doesn't answer the phone. Okay, fine. I DM him, hey, I just tried calling you, didn't answer the phone. He goes, oh, I told you I stream at this time. And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I got the times wrong or something.
One day I'm sitting here and I look, missed call, it's him, he's calling me in the middle of my fucking stream. I told him I wasn't available and I was available at certain times.
Pause the stream, it can wait. Oh, I wish I could scream. I really wish I could, but I feel like I might knock my green screen over. I just want to scream right now because this is as pathetic and as idiotic as it can get. I genuinely cannot believe Phil is this fucking stupid. I don't get it. I don't get it with this man anymore.
Why are you not calling me when I told you I'm available? All right.
I go to call him the next day. He fucking doesn't answer. This went on for like 3 days. I couldn't get a hold of him, and I just completely lost all interest and was like, fuck you. Whatever.
Then all of a sudden, I don't hear from him again. I'm like, all right, maybe it's over with. Then he comes into my stream about 2 weeks ago, and he's like, Phil, when are we going to talk about business? Phil, why are you ghosting me about business? I was like, Keem, I don't know what you're talking about. I really have no idea what you're talking about. So Keemstar, should I ban you now for, trying to derail my stream, or should I, bother telling everyone what you're talking about, derailing my stream? Or should I just outright ban you and move on? Which should I do? I'm just curious how you'd like me to handle this, because you obviously know I'm not going to stop my stream with my viewers to talk to you.
When I went in his chat and called him out just a couple days ago and said, hey, you had an opportunity to make $50,000, he blocked me and banned me from his chat because he didn't want to piss off the people that are donating money to him, right? You want to play it off that I was trolling him or messing with him or whatever, when I really wasn't.
All right, so here we go. So now Keemstar's banned from my channel, and I'll probably be banning him from Twitter tonight as well, and I don't have to deal with this nonsense anymore. He's a fucking idiot. Okay. I don't care about this man. I don't care about the kind of content he makes. I don't care about the drama he creates around himself. I don't care about the pain and misery he causes others to make a buck.
I think, you know, people are kind of looking at this like Keemstar versus DSP and like, you know, saying, well, Keemstar destroyed DSP. Nah, you know, who got destroyed is everybody.
Yeah.
Right? It's like a power play or something weird in his head. Figure that one out. Get a psychiatrist involved in that one. I'm sure they'll definitely tell you about the complex this guy probably fucking has in his head. Okay?
Because this podcast would have been fucking amazing. It would have been so fucking good. We all lost because of that piece of shit.
Well, again, they could have got somebody else that did. But, okay.
So, when this was going down, I told Kat about it the entire time. We had these conversations, and we came to the conclusion together that despite the fact that $50,000 could help us dramatically, $50,000, we could probably go on a honeymoon, which we didn't get when we got married 3 years ago. We could probably improve everything of this business. I could immediately buy a new PC, upgrade my setup, and all that.
You want to know something
right?
as well? Phil would never have done that. He would have just dumped it all in WWE champions, as we know, and we never would have heard about that money ever again. And then he'll continue to beg for tips anyway, because that's the kind of person Phil is. You can't do business. You can't reason with someone who is completely unreasonable. You can write that down if you like.
Yeah, if I did business with Keemstar, I'd feel dirty, man. I would feel like I took blood money. Like, this guy's money is made on the misery of others.
And so it's like, I don't know what the deal is, but these people that are paying his bills every single month, they're fucking sad and pathetic. And I want every single one of them to know, and I don't care how many times I have to retell this story, I want them to know that this guy does not give a flying fuck about making his own way through life. He wants to milk you to death.
So we'll be here forever. We'll all just be here nice and chill on level 1, having a good life. And you could be out there making mean tweets about people. Good for you. I hope that you have a nice life doing it. Leave my name out of your fucking mouth. Because I don't ever want to hear from you and your tweets from your little fucking Keebler elf tree making your fudge stripe cookies all day. I don't want anything to do with you ever again, or your lawn gnome existence. Just leave me alone, all right? I'm done with you. Oh no, I hit below the belt. Yeah, you've insulted me a million times. You're short. Okay.
Meanwhile,
There are 3 creators I know online who get tons of hate nonstop, and all 3 of them have money issues. DSP has been begging fucking the 200 people that show up to his stream to pay all of his bills. Instead of getting a job, he goes to the stream and says, hey guys, my taxes are up. Hey, I gotta pay my gardener. Hey guys, and then he'll blow the little money he gets from his fans on like skins in a video game, and then hit up his audience and be like, hey guys, I forgot about rent. I'm gonna need a donation, all right? Every time I try to have a fucking conversation with this fucking loser, DSP, he is streaming in front of 200 people making about, I'm gonna say on average, $4 an hour. $4 an hour. Motherfuckers working at McDonald's makes more than that.
not quite, but...
But you can't get on the phone with me for a $50,000 fucking paycheck? Like, this shit is so fucking frustrating.
I feel your pain, Keem.
I give up on it. I'm off to doing other stuff. I'm building all different types of fucking shit all over the place. I got fucking so many goddamn companies and projects going on. I'm off doing that shit. I forget about this. And I go on YouTube a couple nights ago, and I ended up on DSP's stream, and he was there saying that he needed money for fucking something, and he was sitting there asking people with real fucking jobs to pay his bills again. And I got frustrated. And I said, and you won't get on the fucking phone with me? In his chat, and he banned me from his chat. This dude is a piece of fucking garbage. If you are watching his shows and you're paying his bills, you're a fucking loser. You should not support this guy. He had an opportunity to make serious money to entertain you, and he wouldn't do it. But you're gonna still fucking give him $200? You're gonna give him $50 to pay his fucking bills? Nah, you got a job. You keep your money. Fuck that guy.
You're still on mission 1.
I was going to say you deserve to lose your money if you think it's worth giving it to him. No, Keemstar is actively telling you protect your own money at all costs, but just do not give it to him. I didn't think he was going to say that. Anyway, the next day. Alright, so what do we got now?
All right. Good morning, everyone. Dark Side Phil here. Today is Thursday, June 30th, 2022, and I wholeheartedly welcome everyone out there to the Level 1 podcast. We're all here having fun.
Level 1?
Down on Level 1. That's right. What does level 1 mean? Well, when you start a video game, you always start on level 1. Whether it's an RPG and you start at level 1 and you level yourself up over the course of the game, or whether you're playing a platformer and it's the first stage or the first level or whatever you want to call it, the first course, right? The Level 1 podcast basically means this is the start of our streaming day.
Really?
It's a dig at a particular piece of shit human out there who wants to try to make fun of us. Not just me, but us in general. Basically looking down on people, saying, oh, you never made it as a giant YouTuber. You're not filthy fucking rich. You're down there at level 1. Well, you know what? It's nice at level 1. Take a look around. Take a look at a level 1 of any video game, okay? Usually level 1 is typically a nice place or the nicest place in a video game. You got nice greenery, you got nice scenery, you got a nice open world to explore, you're learning the game mechanics, you're having a chill and fun time. All that difficult, crazy shit is coming up later in the game, and you know that, but when you start on level 1, it's your time to sink into a game and really start to enjoy it for what it is. So, I'm perfectly happy to be here on level 1 and have a great time with my viewing audience every single freaking day. And everyone else wants to look down and rub your nose at us and say, oh, you little shits down there, you never did anything. Well, guess what? Fuck you. I don't care. I'm happy where I am. I have a good life. I have a good audience. We have a great time here today on level 1. So everyone, welcome to that Level 1 podcast, and I hope that you're having a good time and you're ready. I hope so. We're going to have a good time, my friends, all right? Stop watching Keemstar. Stop watching Keemstar. Stop watching Keemstar. Stop watching Keemstar. He is toxic. He is a virus. Stop watching
Sorry, can you run it past me one more time?
Keemstar. Stop watching Keemstar. Stop watching
Just one more time,
Keemstar.
Oh, no? Guess not.
I'm an older, smarter guy. All right, boys, prepare the slave trade. We're selling her right off for profits. You're a fucking idiot. You're crazy. Why are you laughing? Laughing my ass off. Laughing out loud. Why are you laughing? Here's what I'm going to do. I will not use your content anymore. You have to have a contract in place. What are you talking about? What did I do wrong? Oh, well, we don't have to tell you. If you ever acted like normal people, maybe my wife would come back on the stream. He's got the mindset of a child. I
No, you're not.
am better than you. I'm not the person that they say is in chat logs and has spent all this money. That's not me. Stop watching Keemstar.
You should not support this guy.
Stop watching Keemstar. He is toxic. If I get hit with one more strike on DSP Gaming, I can't stream here. There will be nothing for you to restream or make fun of. What's the point of that?
Oh, good lord. What an absolute fucking dickhead. Now, we all know he is. Now, can I just make a point about this? I just want to look something up, guys, because I kind of like want you guys to understand something, something a bit more. And this is like let me just I just want to show you guys something right here. Right, okay, we just have this go forward. For those who can't see who this is of course John Cena, 16-time WWE champion. He's at least 5-time US champion, and basically one of the big things that you always like strangely be able to you get to see whenever John is either he's actually giving interviews for sports magazines, or whether he's giving interviews on the likes of on big talk shows and all that. Have you seen how immaculate John Cena dresses? He is always in a suit. He always has a tie on. He is like the absolute picture of the sort of person that he is like not only a role model for so many kids who grew up watching him on the WWE, but he's a role model for so many adults for the fact that when you compare just all the things he's done, from all of the Make-A-Wish dreams that he's made come true, and the fact that he's just so perfectly orchestrated and dignified in just about everything that he comes across as, then that's the sort of person you sort of want to look up to. You want to look up to somebody, you may as well just go look up to the absolute best. You know what I mean? Phil, however, is someone you never want to consider looking up to, because think about it like this. Phil is, and I just wanted to bring that up just on the basis of what we saw in that last part. Phil argues with somebody because they didn't email him. He argues with someone just because they didn't want to write things up. They didn't want to have a phone call with him. Phil wants to argue the toss about the fact that he could have been given $50,000 for basically doing nothing. That's not to mention what else he could have received following whatever podcast this could have had. And I know fine well that probably Boogie and Geordie were... I don't think they'll want to speak to Phil after this ever again. So that's a lot of other doors closed because Phil was too fucking stupid, or he was too arrogant, or his ego was too heavily inflamed just to consider the fact that for maybe once in his life, he would just do everybody a favor and shut the fuck up and get on with it a little bit. Because when you're in that much amount of debt, and when you continuously beg for people, it suggests that, Phil, it's not because you don't want to leave level 1, it's because you think that's the only way you can succeed. You can't succeed at level 2, or level 3, or 4, or 40, or 400. Keemstar is like at level 400 compared to us both. I think I'm at a higher level right now compared to Phil. You want to know how that is, ladies and gentlemen? Because, again, you know what? My life is not perfect. I understand that. However, I don't have a gambling addiction. I go to work. I support my family. I don't shovel garbage junk food down their throats. I don't, guilt trip it to my audience about, I may have bills to pay, but that's nobody's responsibility except my own to take care of these things. I'm sorry, but this in 2022 really seems to be the year for Phil in which accountability and responsibility are just words. They have no meaning, they have no relevancy whatsoever, They are just words for people to say, and Phil wouldn't know a responsibility or accountability if it came up in the post as bankruptcy hearing. That is the only time Phil will ever understand that, and even I don't know how many more years we would get Phil of anyway, but if he hasn't even learned that by now, these 4 decades on this planet, I don't think he'll ever learn that by now, and it's probably too late now anyway. So that is just about all I've got to say about that. I hope to God everybody out there has enjoyed the top 10 worst DSP gaming moments of 2022. Thank you so much again for Secret Limited for making these videos, and considering we've only got 31 days left of the year, I reckon we're going to be getting 2023 very soon. So I cannot wait. And I cannot wait to see all of you guys again in the next video. Take care and choo choo, motherfuckers. Bye-bye for now.